They effed up Smoke.
Man, I don't even agree with you on that. You know, they had a nice lead up with it. You could see that Smoke was coming a mile away. I don't think they messed it up at all, but I had no idea it was Sub-Zero.
You're just going to steal my hook, just like that, eh? Just gonna steal my hook.
Man, I ain't stealing nothing. Maybe Rue is right, you know? Maybe they did F up Smoke.
Well, it's more that they didn't mess up Smoke. They messed up Sub-Zero.
I know something that my daughter said was like, why didn't Sub-Zero use his powers? Like,
well, it's because he was using Smoke's powers because they brought him back as Smoke, right?
Long live the Lin Kuei.
So when you saw him jumping into his shadow and appearing on another ledge somewhere else, that's not Sub-Zero powers, that's Smoke powers.
That's true, and I did not get that while the movie was going. But see, here's the thing, because I had a nice little argument with my 17-year-old daughter. Gotta love that. We had a nice little argument about Smoke or Scorpion or Sub-Zero. I've been a Sub-Zero fan since they had Damien Chapa. Shout out to the movie Blood In, Blood Out, right? Who played Miklo in Blood In, Blood Out. He was the actor to play unmasked Sub-Zero, right? And I'm a big Damien Chapa fan. I'm like, okay, let's go Sub-Zero. And then Sub-Zero doesn't freeze anyone the entire movie.
Rue, you're wrong once again. No, Damien Chapa did not play unmasked Sub-Zero or any version of Sub-Zero in any Mortal Kombat game. You guys can look this up for yourself. Damien Chapa is best known for playing Ken Masters in the 1994 live-action Street Fighter movie, which I didn't even bother watching it. After about 10 minutes, it sucked. But that was, of course, based on the Capcom game. His filmography, including IMDb and Wikipedia, shows no involvement in any Mortal Kombat video game, movie, or related media. No acting, motion capture, voice work, or modeling. Here's some quick facts for our audience. On unmasked Sub-Zero in the games, in Mortal Kombat 2, the first unmasked appearance in the ending for the younger Sub-Zero / Kuai Liang is the face that was portrayed by Midway Games programmer Josh Sui, also credited as Joshua Y. Su, as in Tsui. In Mortal Kombat 3, which is one of my favorites with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, the unmasked Sub-Zero was played by John Turk. Any mentions of Damien Chapa in Mortal Kombat appear to stem from confusion between the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat franchises, both in the 1990s fighting game adaptations or fan casting jokes, but they aren't actual credits. So, Rue, while he does look a little bit like this picture, it's not the same Damien Chapa.
You know what I mean?
First of all, we're not just going to pretend that you didn't just say they messed up Smoke when they messed up Sub-Zero, and then not realize that Sub-Zero in the movie became Smoke because of a necromancer, but in the history, in the lore of Mortal Kombat, Sub-Zero does not become Smoke.
Which means they doubly effed up both effing characters. The situation's all effed up, is what we're saying.
Snafu. Situation normal. All fouled up.
They could have just introduced Smoke's character instead of transforming Sub-Zero's character into Smoke that never existed.
I will agree with you on that. That's what I thought they were going to do. You saw all that smoke coming in. Yeah, guys, that's what we do. We spoil freaking movies, to say the least. You see all that smoke coming through, and I had such a build-up. I'm like, yeah, baby, Smoke, because he's one of my favorite characters. And then it wasn't Smoke. Come on.
I'm just gonna say it right now. I know that everybody and their mom thinks that Johnny Cage was the character for this movie. Kano was. Sorry. Johnny Cage could suck it.
Oh, yeah? I can suck it, Rob? Well, suck this! Crikey, me balls, mate!
Kano was the character for this movie.
You know what? I'm a big Billy Butcher fan. Hence, I'm a big Carl Urban fan. I think he nailed Johnny Cage the way no one has ever nailed Johnny Cage before.
Man, you're 100% on that. I thought he nailed him too better than anybody.
See, Rob? Max and Rue said I nailed it! Target! You know it, mate!
That's irrelevant. His rendition of the character has nothing to do with the writers making his character a comic relief actor for most of the movie until he finally throws a kick at the end of the movie and is useful. They butchered him.
Oh, yeah, Rob? No Memorial Day barbecue for you! Crikey! Hey, you're Johnny Effing Cage! Can I have your autograph?
Kano.
Yeah, but
I see what you did there. I see what you.
You see what I did? I stole you. That's right. They butchered him. You liked it.
But you know what? They executed that shadow kick so well, man. I mean, back to the days of Mortal Kombat. You know, it's just that was nice. That was well done.
Why didn't he use his fireball? Why did he use his fireball?
Here's kind of what they did. They kind of Billy butchered Johnny Cage. They kind of made Johnny Cage into Billy Butcher with karate. You know what I mean? And it, to me, that worked so freaking well because it's like really the character of Johnny Cage, honestly, if we were to say like it was a person, would be like prime Chuck Norris.
Prime Chuck Norris? Really, Rue?
Like honestly, it's prime Van Damme, but Van Damme's not an American. So really, it's prime like it's like Chuck Norris with Van Damme's personality.
He was a bum through the whole movie.
I just want to throw this out real quick, man. I think the reason why they didn't have Johnny Cage, you know, do his whole we call it the fireball or whatever, is because you already had Sonya Blade with her rings, and it would have been too much of the same in a male character.
Well, I think they nailed it. I think they nailed it. And the way that they nailed it is like he's this washed up star, right? Whereas in the video game, he's really in his prime. He's Van Damme prime, or he's Chuck Norris prime.
To be fair, you're right. Yeah, he's well past his prime in the film.
But they went a different way in the movie, but it landed to me.
He was a bumbling fool for the entire movie, barely surviving every skirmish he got in simply by tripping on something or falling off a roof or whatever the case might be. And then he finally throws a kick at the end of the movie, which in itself is fine. But don't build the character up in the trailers that he's going to be this big, important character in the movie that you're going to love, and then he's just a comic relief.
So you're accusing Hollywood of Hollywood clickbait, basically, is what you're saying here. Sure. Barely surviving until the end of the movie, Rob. How about his fight against Baraka, huh? How about the whole idea that he did his signature nut punch, and I was screaming inside. I was like, hell yeah.
He was a bumbling fool through that fight until that part. He was getting thrown all over the place, falling from one building to the next.
But you said the end of the movie. That wasn't the end of the movie. I would say that was more like the middle of the movie, right, Rue?
Well, here's the thing. As a former college actor, you know, like I didn't do anything really big, you know, little independent film or whatever. But I really love the way they went with Johnny Cage, right? And the only thing that I have a little bit of a gripe about is like Johnny Cage is supposed to be like they went and flashed back to 1985 and he was beating someone at 16. So bro's 50 doing all of these somersaults, all of these jumps. And I tell you, like that outside of Jackie Chan, nobody is doing that, right?
I haven't
But
heard. I haven't heard. I
that
haven't
would be
heard
my
either
only
of you.
gripe.
I haven't heard either of you argue with me that Kano was the character of this movie.
I would say
Because
it's
I'm not
Johnny
going to
Cage.
argue. I'm not
It's
going to
Johnny
argue
Cage.
with you about that. I would say Kano's the character of the movie. He was the character of the last movie too. And if anything, that kept me on the hook to want to basically watch Mortal Kombat 2. The guy was literally a complete bad, you know what? You know, he was good guy, he was bad guy, he was everything that we love with that type of sarcasm, to say the least. You
He
know,
was he was the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the movie. He was a tweener. He wasn't a good guy, but he wasn't a bad guy.
Let me do my animality, mate!
Right? He did some bad stuff, but at the end of the day, he doesn't want the world to end because he wants his threesomes and foursomes and wristers, right? So
Yeah, Kano was my second favorite character by far, for sure. He was like the perfect kind of like, like you said, Rob, the tweener, the anti-hero type of guy. Like, and for Kano to work, and again, this is a little bit different from the video game because Kano was like this balding guy with it's different from the video game, but this character fit so perfectly because he kind of had to be this kind of jerky type, he had to be exactly who he was, and he played so well, so well.
when he's lining up those three guys, those three guards, he's like, yeah, I need you to stand here. Come on. That was amazing.
this is one instance, you guys, where I felt as though that the actor did a better job than the video game portrayal. Like I actually want it in reverse, where moving forward, the actual actor becomes the embodiment of the Kano character in all the future video games, et cetera, et cetera. They had to kill it on that. We did talk a little bit about Johnny Cage and whatnot. We got to talk about some of these other scenes for a moment because we're all fans of the video games back in the day. I'm so nostalgic when it comes to this. Like, again, even our backdrops, right? So the way I look at it is something that really stood out to me. I love the freaking pit scene, right? Sindel versus Sonya Blade. It was so reminiscent, you guys, of Reptile down in his pit, right? We know Reptile got killed off in the first movie. Now we're literally in his pit. No, there was no double flawless victories and then the fatality to get down in the pit, right? We in the lighting, right? Some people complain on Reddit and other places like, oh, the lighting of this film was bad. Are you kidding me? So you want a bunch of bright butterflies and all that and unicorns all over the place? So you don't want to have a dark pit? No, I want to be down in the pit. We saw the pit.
The nostalgia means nothing to me.
Yeah, man. I mean, we saw the pit, and nonetheless, we saw Sindel. You know, she had her screams. I thought that was reminiscent. Again, I know you said nostalgia doesn't mean nothing to you. It means something to me, but it was reminiscent, to say the least. And then that finishing move where her face right down the spike, just like we saw in Mortal Kombat 1 down the pit, where we saw the developers, right? Ed Boon and Tobias, right? And they're on the spikes instead of Sindel's face. That was so cool. To me,
That reminds me of one of my favorite fight scenes. The Liu Kang Kung Lao fight was so freaking good.
You'll burn for this! Not if I burn you first! Impossible! Witness true power! Take this! Fatality!
But hang on,
Right,
before you segue into a different fight scene, I just want to say that they butchered again Sindela. They
Sindela. What is she, Hispanic all of a sudden?
Well, however the hell you say her name.
Sindel.
They nerfed her. That fight was like a minute and a half long, and she got slaughtered by Sonya. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I thought it was a good fight, to be honest with you, because Sonya. That's what I enjoy about all of these fights. But like, it felt like it could go either way. Every fight felt like they could go either way. The fights with Shao Kahn felt like he could have died like almost every time. Every fight was like down to the wire. It seemed like Sonya had to figure her out, and once she figured it out, she got it done. Like it wasn't a walk in the park. Even the Johnny Cage fight where it seemed like, you know, he could have died. They they did it well. They did it well, and the actors acted it out very well.
It wasn't a walk in the park. It was a hop, skip, and a jump. They nerfed her. I'm sorry, they nerfed her character. She screamed a couple times and then got destroyed.
I mean, I think that's all she really needed to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like
She has more powers. Her hair, she's able to flip her hair and you manipulate it to grab people and hit people and grab things
yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. And
Fatality.
from but she didn't use any. She just screamed a little bit and then got her chest caved in. Right? They nerfed her. I don't know.
And you know, I think that's really all she needed to do, to be honest with you. I feel like that's it. That's all she needed. Like, and maybe they could have gone a little bit more, but I think that's all they needed for her. But if we can go into the like Liu Kang Kung Lao fight, oh my goodness, that
Amazing.
fight was so good.
Yeah, it was really well done, and we actually had the fatalities that are represented in the games, especially in the later games. Right, we're talking within the last 10 years. That was a signature fatality.
You're mine now.
No! Not that!
Scream louder.
Please, no!
Right, we see
It
that.
was.
Yeah,
It was
and
the
they-
signature fatality. But
Absolutely.
it was there, and it was like you thought that either it was gonna like Liu Kang had to worry about it because it was behind him, or Kung Lao was gonna pull it through the floor like he does in the game. So it was another place where it was like it could go either way. And then when he did what he did and did the fatality, I was like, oh my god. I did not expect that. My daughter actually did.
Kung Lao,
she
Kung Lao
knew.
did, Kung
Go
Lao
ahead.
didn't play on Kung Lao did not play on the emotion of the situation enough for me. I think he should have tried to manipulate Liu Kang to trick him or something in the fight, because they had that opportunity and they just squandered it. I suppose he didn't play on that emotion at all in that fight.
Well, I think it's just like he was a zombie, and like that hat, the hat to me was like it was always this constant threat that was buzzing around while they were fighting. Like
I'm
that
not
part was
disputing that.
really, huh?
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. You're absolutely right. It was a good fight scene, and the hat going around definitely caused a lot of anxiety when you're watching them fight because you never know where it's coming from or whatever. I'm just saying that I think it was a missed opportunity that they didn't play on the emotion that Liu Kang's character was showing in that fight, was not reciprocated or even reacted to by Kung Lao's character at all. Right? Like normally in a movie like that, when you see a scene like that, normally what you would see is the bad guy play on that when it looks like he's at a moment of he might lose the fight and make it look like Liu Kang's getting to him a little bit, reaching him, and then he turns on him again. They didn't do that, right? They missed that opportunity.
And or you see a missed opportunity there. For me, it was like, okay, he's kind of a zombie kind of guy. Like he's just, you know, he's just one track, which is just like I'm about to kill you right now. Like he had a little bit of depth when he killed Raiden, right? He played off of like, you know, who he was to kill Raiden, but you know, just one track. He's just really the zombie dark guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess agree to disagree. I think it's a waste to bring back a character with emotional connection and not play off that connection for the storyline. It just seemed like a waste to me. But
Well, maybe that's the whole thing, right? Is to lead into Mortal Kombat 3. I want to shift for a moment, and I also want to recognize that this movie, in my opinion, like it kept me into it from beginning to end. I'll be honest, Mortal Kombat 1, it didn't keep me into it from beginning to end. I think I had to wait roughly 25 minutes into the film of Mortal Kombat 1 to be like, oh, okay, now this is cool. This is cool. Nah, from beginning to end, I was in this movie. I like the lighting of it, despite the complaints on Reddit. I felt as though, again, this is Mortal Kombat, right? it's dark to say the least. If you're fighting down in a dungeon or a pit, it's gonna be dark. It ain't gonna be all beautiful lighting. And
This
so
this isn't Street Fighter. We don't play that way. Nice and dark.
Exactly.
Man, I'm not even looking forward to that Street Fighter. The original one in the '90s, forget that. I watched like maybe 6 minutes of it and couldn't even watch it anymore. But
I'm definitely looking forward to this Street Fighter. The first one
I am
with,
not. I am
with
not.
Raul
I know we're
Julia
gonna
was actually pretty good. Raul Julia played a very nice M. Bison, right? I'm looking very forward to that Street Fighter movie. But here, like, I think they really mastered something that's really complex to do is give you all the nostalgia of the movie and make it a cohesive and great movie, right? And they had to take a little liberties to do that, like Johnny Cage being, you know, who this Johnny Cage was, and I think it worked, right? You know, despite what Rob thinks, no, I'm just kidding. But I think that worked. But then if we were to go to the end here, like, and this is something that has been happening in a lot of movies lately here. I don't know what the agenda is, and I hope, you know, people are probably going to call me sexist here, but here it is, another movie where the woman's the hero at the end, where the woman, like, the woman's saved everyone, right?
Oh, yes and no. She wouldn't have been able to if Johnny Cage hadn't kicked Shadow there with his little pansy kick at the end of the movie.
Right.
So,
they did it better in this movie in that, okay, Johnny Cage kind of really saved the day for her to do what she needed to do. But ultimately, there wasn't like in like most of the movies, like Liu Kang's the hero. But they made Katana the hero, which is fine because if you're playing Mortal Kombat and you're playing with your favorite character, any character can win and beat Shao Kahn, and then you have that ending. But it's, you know, they chose to make Katana the woman the hero here.
I think that I don't think it's as much that she's a woman as it is that she's not really a main. When you think of Mortal Kombat, you don't think Katana, right? You think Liu Kang, you think Scorpion, you think Sub-Zero. She's not a main primary character. She's a supporting character, and I think that's probably where the root of what your issue is. I don't think it's necessarily that she's female, but it just felt unnecessary.
All right.
I'm not hating.
I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna hate both of you guys' reactions to that. Saying Katana's not a main character it shows me that you didn't study the books back in the day. So I'm gonna do a fatality on both of that and disagree with both of you. How about that? Because guess what? Katana is Princess Katana, and she definitely was a main character that was introduced in Mortal Kombat 2. And you want to talk about the whole thing, Rue? Yes, Rue. That the whole thing of having a hero versus a heroine, right? That is a heroine, wherever you want to pronounce it, that there's a big difference. Well, guess what? The first movie, Cole Young was supposed to be that hero because he's part of the lineage of Scorpion, right? Actually, his real name, as we know, right? And then we get to the second movie. Guess what happens? Yeah, spoiler alert, everybody. You have Cole Young's character. He gets killed off.
Pathetic.
Right? And where was he killed off? He was literally killed off in the Deadpool. And that's what I wanted to talk about before you interrupted me when that and went to the end of the freaking movie. So with that said, I want to bring this up real quick, and that is that I thought they did a great job of the Deadpool scene of Shao Kahn versus Cole Young. And guess what? Fatality. Yeah, fatality. Cole Young, they killed him off. This guy was a main central point of the first movie. So you want to go back to the whole thing of the hero and the man? They already did that in the first movie. Second movie, it was focused on Katana, right?
Well, again, that's another great fight scene, and another like where I bring it up where Shao Kahn he died. Like Cole Young got him, but he had immortality, right? Like even in the beginning of the movie, Katana's daddy, he was about to slash his throat, and he put up his arm at the last second. Like it was a couple different times where they almost got him. You know what I mean?
You weak, pathetic fool. All too weak.
But my point is, and I'm not a sexist person, but in most movies here lately, it's always like the woman's the hero. Like, and not that I have a problem with that, you know what I mean? But it's like the woman's the hero every time, and like the masculine men are like the villains, and it's just, you know what I mean? I don't know if you want to say they're pushing a certain agenda or what, but it's a little interesting. You would think that Liu Kang would have won, like they kind of set up the movies, but it's fine. I don't care. It's just something I'm noticing with a lot of movies lately where they somehow make it that the woman's the heroine and the masculine men are the villains. Like they didn't do that in this movie, but they did make it so the woman was the hero in the end. She's the one who ultimately saves the day.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think, in summary, that this was a surprisingly good movie. For me, this was way better than Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 2, I was in it from beginning to end. I absolutely loved it. So if we're going to say that this is a quick review, I give this film, because we do 5 stars, I give it a 3.75 stars out of 5. Absolutely loved it. Look really forward to Mortal Kombat 3, and I really hope they introduce Stryker, because as we know, again, we spoil movies for you guys. That's just what we do. They killed off Jax. So if you killed off Jax, who's the other cop person that's going to come in? I think it's Stryker. And would that be represented in the way that they introduced Stryker in Mortal Kombat 3 or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, if you guys would play that? I think yes. And one thing I loved about that character was, again, he had the club, he had a gun, you name it. So I don't know if they do it that way, because, again, they introduced Quan Chi, who's technically in Mortal Kombat 4, but we also had Chinook, which maybe we'll do another video about that. Didn't introduce Chinook the character, but we had his amulet. So I think we're going to bring in a lot of other characters from Mortal Kombat 4, et cetera, et cetera.
Rob, what do you think? What's your rating?
2.5 stars, because it was a great movie, but it was a pile of crap too.
Well, for me, I'm 4.2 stars. Okay. Like, I think this is the closest that any Mortal Kombat movie has come to being perfect for this genre, right? They had
4.2.
yeah, 4.25. Let's go with that. Yeah. 4.25. This is the closest any Mortal Kombat movie has done to becoming perfect. And basically for me, like anything over 4 is pretty fantastic. I would go see it again, right? I would definitely go see this movie again. Like they nailed it. Like Max was saying with like Street Fighter and things like that. No, like I can't think of a movie that is like, talking about a video game, of a fighting video game, that has nailed it as much as this movie. And we were talking about this a little bit backstage. They almost like advertised this movie as Mortal Kombat. They didn't really refer to this as being a 2. And I think they did a good job of marketing it that way, because the first movie was so bad. They just was like, okay, let's just put that 2 on a down low. Okay. So 4.25 for me. Fantastic movie. They hit everything. The darkness works for me as well, Max. I enjoyed the Johnny Cage character. There was not a character I didn't enjoy, right? But now that Rob explained to me that Sub-Zero was actually supposed to be, he was turned into smoke, I'm kind of mad that I didn't see some Sub-Zero's powers, because I like Sub-Zero. Hey, but 4.25 for sure.
Absolutely. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening to 3 friends react to Mortal Kombat 2. We'll see you guys in our next review, which will probably be very soon. A lot of summer movies coming out. If you found value with our material, consider smashing that like, consider subbing, and we look forward to bringing you guys more of these videos.